Did you know that some supermarket bread contains azotocarbonamide, a chemical that's not just found in food, but is also used in making yoga mats and shoe rubber? It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. This ingredient is hiding in plain sight on many ingredient labels. Azotocarbonamide is added to bread dough to make it stronger and more elastic, helping it rise higher and giving it that perfect uniform texture you see in store-bought loaves. It's all about creating bread that looks and feels just right batch after batch. While it's approved as a food additive in some countries, its industrial uses are eye-opening and raise questions about what we're really eating. The same chemical that makes your bread fluffy is also used to make foam in products you'd never consider eating. This is just one example of the strange and sometimes unsettling world of food science that operates behind the scenes of our daily meals. Scientists and food technologists are constantly experimenting with new additives to improve shelf life, texture, and appearance. Our food system has evolved far beyond simple farming and home cooking. Today it's a complex network involving high-tech laboratories, industrial processes, and global supply chains, all working together to create the foods we find on supermarket shelves. These processes help make food last longer, look more appealing, and stay fresh during transport. But they also introduce substances and chemicals that our bodies may not be familiar with, and that we might not expect in something as simple as bread. For thousands of years, humans ate whole foods made from simple, recognizable ingredients: grains, water, salt, and yeast. Bread was once a humble staple, made by hand and shared at the table. Now, ultra-processed foods dominate our diets, filling grocery store aisles and our shopping carts. These products are often engineered to be irresistible, convenient, and cheap. These foods aren't just processed. They're carefully engineered for maximum profit and consumer appeal, often with a long list of additives and chemicals that most of us can't even pronounce. The story of soft, shelf-stable bread is just the beginning. Nearly every aisle in the supermarket is affected by this trend, from breakfast cereals to snacks and ready meals. That's why we need to become detectives, reading labels and questioning what we're really eating. It's up to us to look past the marketing and dig deeper into what's inside our food. The goal isn't to create fear, but to build awareness, so we can make informed choices for ourselves and our families, and maybe even rediscover the joy of real, simple food. The mystery of our food is solvable if we're willing to look beyond the packaging and ask questions about what we're putting on our plates. The truth about what we eat has the power to change our health, our habits, and even our relationship with food, for the better. What makes a food ultra-processed? It's a question that's more important than ever, as our diets become increasingly dominated by packaged and convenience foods. Imagine an apple. Eat it whole, and you're enjoying a food in its most natural, unprocessed state. It's just as nature intended, with all its fiber, vitamins, and nutrients intact. Cook it into applesauce and you've processed it a bit, maybe added some heat or a touch of sugar, but it's still recognizable as apple. But break it down, strip away the fiber, add artificial colors, flavors, and chemicals, and turn it into a gummy snack that's ultra-processed. The original food is barely recognizable. Ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, are industrial creations. They're not just altered, they're engineered, designed to be convenient, cheap, and addictive. You can spot them easily. Long ingredient lists, strange additives, and names you can't pronounce. These foods are made in factories, not in home kitchens. Think of sugary cereals, frozen pizzas, instant noodles, sodas, packaged snacks, and even some energy bars. They fill entire aisles at the supermarket. Their main goal isn't to nourish you, but to last long on shelves, be easy to grab, and taste so good you want more. Convenience and profit often come before health. This is achieved with high levels of sugar, salt, fat, and a cocktail of additives, preservatives, colorings, and flavor enhancers that keep you coming back for more. Imagine wood. Carve it into a bowl and you've processed it, but it's still wood, just in a new form. But if you grind it to sawdust, glue it together and mold it into a bowl, you've ultra-processed it. The original material is lost, replaced by something artificial. A potato chip is a far cry from a real potato, stripped of nutrients, fried in oil, and coated in artificial flavors and preservatives. Our bodies are designed for whole foods, fruits, vegetables, grains, and proteins, not these engineered products that barely resemble real food. When we eat UPFs, our bodies struggle to process the artificial ingredients, excess sugar, and unhealthy fats. Digestion becomes harder, and our systems are put under stress. This constant overload can overwhelm our metabolism and is linked to a range of health problems, from obesity to diabetes and heart disease. It's not just about counting calories, it's about the very nature and quality of what we're eating and how it affects our health long term. Understanding the difference between real food and ultra-processed food is key to making healthier choices for yourself and your family. UPFs are everywhere in our modern world, but knowing what they are helps us avoid them and choose better options. The first step is recognizing them on your plate, so you can make choices that truly nourish your body and support your health. Ever notice ingredients like emulsifiers and stabilizers on food labels? Emulsifiers help mix things that don't blend, like oil and water. Think smooth salad dressings or creamy sauces. Stabilizers keep food textures consistent, preventing separation in products like yogurt. In ultra-processed foods, these additives create uniform, long-lasting products. But there's a downside. Some emulsifiers, like polysorbate 80 and carboxymethylcellulose, can disrupt our gut microbiome. They erode the protective mucus in our intestines, letting harmful bacteria in and causing inflammation. This inflammation is linked to chronic diseases. The food industry uses these additives for convenience and shelf life. But our bodies may pay the price for this artificial stability. The creamy texture of your dessert could be fueling low-grade inflammation inside you. What solves a manufacturing problem can create a biological one. It's a trade-off we rarely see, but our health feels it. Ultra-processed foods rely heavily on artificial and so-called natural flavors. Lab-made chemicals that mimic real tastes, but with far more intensity than anything found in nature. These flavors are carefully engineered in laboratories to be irresistible, often combining dozens of compounds to create a single, mouth-watering sensation. The result is food that tastes more vibrant and exciting than anything you could grow or cook at home. Natural flavor sounds wholesome, but it's often a complex chemical blend far removed from the original source. In fact, these flavors can be so processed that they barely resemble the fruit, spice, or herb they claim to represent. The goal isn't authenticity, it's to create a taste that's more appealing and addictive than the real thing. These flavors hijack our brain's reward system, delivering intense taste without real nutrition. When we eat these foods, our brains light up with pleasure, even though our bodies aren't getting the nourishment they need. Our brains get a shortcut to pleasure, making us crave more and more. The more we eat, the more we want, creating a cycle that's hard to break. Over time, real food starts to taste bland compared to these engineered flavors. The subtle sweetness of a ripe peach or the earthy crunch of a carrot can't compete with the explosive, artificial tastes we've grown used to. This rewires our preferences, making us choose UPFs over whole foods. Our taste buds adapt, and suddenly the foods that once satisfied us seem dull and unexciting. The food industry calls this craveability, and it's by design. Teams of scientists and marketers work together to make sure you keep coming back for more, turning eating into a constant search for the next flavor hit. The result? We eat more than we need, not because we lack willpower, but because the food is engineered to override our natural signals. It's easy to lose track of how much we're eating when every bite is designed to be irresistible. Our appetite regulation is disrupted, leading to overeating and weight gain. The signals that tell us we're full get drowned out by the constant stimulation of these powerful flavors. It's not just about taste, it's about how these foods change our relationship with eating. Meals become less about nourishment and more about chasing that next burst of flavor. The chemistry of flavor is powerful, and it's shaping our health. Understanding how these engineered tastes affect us is the first step toward making better choices. By learning what's really in our food, we can start to reclaim control over what we eat and rediscover the real flavors that nature intended. The link between ultra-processed foods and poor health is undeniable, backed by major studies. In a landmark NIH study, people ate 500 more calories per day on an ultra-processed diet, even when calories and nutrients were matched. They gained weight and body fat but lost it when switched to unprocessed foods. The problem isn't just nutrients, it's the structure of UPFs that drives overeating. This leads to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. Additives in UPFs also cause chronic gut inflammation, which can spread throughout the body. The soft, easy-to-eat texture means we eat them quickly, outpacing our body's fullness signals. You can eat a bag of chips in minutes, but whole foods take longer and fill you up. Rapid calorie intake spikes blood sugar and insulin, damaging our metabolism over time. The issue goes beyond personal responsibility. These foods are designed to be overconsumed. The science is clear. UPFs are making us sick. Recognizing this is the first step to change. Even NASA has struggled with ultra-processed foods. Astronauts need lightweight, long-lasting meals, so space food is highly processed, much like what's in our supermarkets. Despite perfect nutrition on paper, astronauts suffered health problems and craved real food. Menu fatigue set in, and their health declined, raising questions about the lack of fresh foods. In 2015, astronauts grew and ate fresh lettuce in space, a huge morale and health boost. NASA realized real food is essential, even in space. The lesson? No factory-made meal can replace the benefits of whole, fresh foods. The complex nutrients and fibers in real food matter more than we think. If NASA is rethinking processed food, maybe we should too. Sometimes the simplest foods are the most vital. Ultra-processed foods don't just harm our bodies, they affect our minds. Research links UPFs to higher risks of depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. The gut-brain axis means what we eat shapes our mental health. Our gut microbes produce neurotransmitters like serotonin, crucial for mood. UPFs damage the gut microbiome, starving good bacteria and feeding harmful ones. This imbalance leads to less serotonin and more inflammation, even in the brain. Neuroinflammation is now seen as a key factor in depression and mental illness. Whole foods feed our gut and support mental well-being. Improving diet is a powerful tool for mental health. What we eat truly shapes how we feel. Food giants spend billions marketing ultra-processed foods as healthy and fun. They use health halos to distract from the real ingredients. These companies fund research to downplay the harms of their products and blame individuals for health issues. Their products are engineered for overconsumption. Moderation is nearly impossible. The industry's profits depend on us eating more, not less. The most important information isn't on the label, but it's what matters most for your health. All this information can feel overwhelming, but you have more control than you think. Change starts with a single step. Swap one ultra-processed food for a whole food this week. Try oatmeal instead of sugary cereal, or an apple instead of a packaged snack. Small changes add up, casting a vote for your health each time. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Focus on reducing foods with long, confusing ingredient lists. Become curious about your habits. Read labels, check your pantry, and ask, would my great-grandmother recognize this as food? This is the beginning of a journey to reclaim your health from the food industry. It's not a diet, it's a new way of thinking about eating. The science of food is full of surprises. Keep asking questions, stay curious, and keep learning about the science behind your life. For more deep dives, follow Science Deeps. Your real food future starts now.